One more thing that I wanted to talk about really fast is I've been contemplating this and I've been meaning to put it on an episode every single time that we've been doing it, but I wanted to, and I also want to get your guys' opinion. Anybody that's watching this, do you honestly believe that Giga Chikadze do you think that he actually has the ability to beat a Max Holloway or beat an Alexander Volkanovski? And when I'm thinking about it, is that Giga Chikadze presents an absolute nightmare for the current champion. And I think a lot of guys present nightmares for the champion. And we saw that kind of with the Bryan Ortega, is that Bryan Ortega, he's long, like Giga Chikadze. He's bigger. I mean, all these guys in the top 5, they're bigger dudes. Like, you just don't see a guy like Dan Ige who doesn't have necessarily the size attributes. It's just really hard to get into that top echelon of fighters of that division because they're such hybrids, because they're so strong. And then you get these guys that are just, that same can be said at the like bantamweight division, guys that just are blessed with different kind of frames. They're just so much, they just are at such a bigger advantage than other guys. But I just don't think that Giga Chikadze could beat a Max Holloway. I personally don't think anybody in the top 15 can beat Max Holloway, but I do think that somebody,
you're just a Max Holloway stan, like number one fan.
No, but I just don't think that a Giga Chikadze could even come close to beating a Max Holloway. His chin's too good. He could fight lightweight easily and compete with the best of them. I just don't think that anybody can beat him. That being said, if anybody else gets the belt, if anything were to happen to Max Holloway and he's out for an extended period of time after the Yair fight, after he beats Yair, if he has a freak injury or something, that belt is up for grabs. Giga Chikadze could very well become the champion if he has to fight Alexander Volkanovski. Nothing against Alexander Volkanovski, but just Giga, he knows what he's doing on the feet, and he is very competent on the ground. And I think his kind of reach and just high level striking will ultimately be an issue for Volkanovski, because Volkanovski struggled so mightily in that second fight against Max Holloway. So yeah, that's what I want to say on that. I just don't think a Max Holloway can get beat by anybody in the top 15. Obviously anything can happen. There's a puncher's chance in every fight, but 9 times out of 10 I'm going to take Max Holloway over everybody else in the division. I think not 10 out of 10 times, dude. But the fact that Ilya is not in the top 15 blows my marbles. Okay, now guys, let's get into some of really quickly. Tresean Gore versus Pooh Bear got announced. That's money. That's a money fight.
So excited.
That was going to be the final.
I'm a huge Pooh Bear fan.
You're a big Pooh Bear guy.
Yeah.
That Gilbert Urbina fight was really good. Gilbert, props to him for stepping up on short notice. But Tresean Gore's an absolute issue, and when he enters,
but I hate him.
Yeah. There's a lot of fighters I hate too.
I'm just kidding. I don't hate him. I just thought he was really cocky during the show.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm not going to agree with you, but I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm not disagreeing. But Tresean, all I know is that guy is one of the scariest men that has ever been on The Ultimate Fighter, and he can put anybody's lights out. Like we saw with in his fight against Ryder Newman, and then who else did he fight? Oh, yeah, Gilbert Urbina. He knocked Gilbert Urbina about 3 times in his fight. I just don't think that Bryan Battle is going to have the chops to beat Tresean. I don't think anybody on that show could have beat Tresean. I know that Andre Petrosky, who's going to be fighting on UFC 267, is going to be couldn't have beat Tresean. I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be a scrap.
Who's
just
he
because.
Fighting?
What?
Who's Andre fighting?
Like Ruzan or some. I think he's Chinese.
Andre's officially in the UFC.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so stupid. When we were doing an episode, Bianca was asking me about guys getting contracts. If you win the Ultimate Fighter, you get a contract.
That's what I was saying.
So you knew that.
So some guys
that are really talented, such as Andre Petrosky, they're going to get contracts anyway.
That's what I mean. That's what I was saying. So I was like, but like Tresean, like for instance, he didn't get a contract. He didn't win. But he is going to be in the UFC. He was going to win the Ultimate Fighter. So is this gonna...
He is in the UFC now.
Yeah. So
this is an official UFC bout.
Yeah. So he got signed.
100%. Tresean is going to win this fight, and he is going to become a problem at 185 pounds, and he will most likely maybe move down to 170, just based on some of the guys that are there. Tresean is big, but I don't know if he's big enough to compete at the highest level at middleweight. Just based on guys like Marvin Vettori and Paulo Costa and Robert Whittaker. Those guys are massive. So, but he has that one punch knockout power. So that's kind of that levels the playing field big time. I think he'll be a player at whatever division he ultimately settles at. Mm-hmm. I really believe in Tresean Gore because I always come to the conclusion that you have to have these crazy, because I always compare people to the champion and how I always just think you need to look like the guy that has the belt currently in order to beat that, because you have to be able to match up with them skill wise. But that's just, I guess it's not really that true, because Israel Adesany's an anomaly. No, like he's just the perfect fit for 185 pounds, and no one's ever going to really look like him necessarily. So I just have to remember the fact that not everybody is built and is as good of a striker as Israel Adesanya. So I think that Tresean will still be a good guy there. Oh, speaking of this, actually, UFC 4, you guys need to get on your crap, because I'm really in desperate need of a UFC 4 update.